Have you ever looked at your life and felt like you're just going through the motions? Like the person you used to be doesn't fit who you are now, but you're not sure how to change. Maybe you feel weighed down by old habits, relationships, or thoughts that no longer serve you. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many people reach a point where they want to disappear from their old life, not to run away, but to make room for something better. This book is a guide to that kind of transformation. It's about letting go of what holds you back, quietly stepping away from distractions, and building a new version of yourself that feels true and strong. You'll discover how to create space for peace in your mind, take control of your daily habits, and surround yourself with people who support your growth. Change doesn't have to be loud or sudden. Sometimes the most powerful growth comes from small, steady steps that you take day after day. Imagine waking up with a clear purpose, feeling calm, confident, and ready to face whatever comes your way. This journey will help you find that feeling. If you're ready to stop living for others and start living for yourself, keep reading. You're about to learn how to disappear from your old life and transform into the person you were always meant to be. Chapter 1. Leave everything that no longer builds your future. The beginning of real change always starts with one hard but necessary decision. The choice to leave behind everything that no longer serves the life you are trying to build. It sounds simple on the surface, but this is often one of the hardest steps in the journey of transformation. You cannot build a new future if you are still carrying the weight of an old life. Most people want to improve their lives without changing anything. They want to evolve without letting go. But holding on to things that once defined you, supported you, or even comforted you can become the very chains that keep you stuck. If something is not helping you grow, it is holding you back. There is no neutral ground. Many people spend years trying to force progress while dragging a life behind them that is too heavy to carry. Old habits, unhelpful routines, toxic relationships, environments that breed complacency, and outdated beliefs that no longer align with their vision. All of these act as anchors. They keep you rooted in places you've outgrown. If your life feels stagnant, it's likely not because you aren't trying hard enough. It's because you're trying to move forward without letting go of what's holding you down. You must begin with honesty. Look at your life and ask, what in my daily experience adds no value to my future? What do I tolerate that leaves me drained or distracted? Who do I keep around out of guilt, habit, or fear, instead of purpose and alignment? What thoughts repeat in my mind that limit who I am allowed to become? Every answer to these questions is a mirror, and you cannot change your life without first facing it. Leaving things behind does not always mean dramatic exits or big announcements. Often it's quiet. It's not about running away, it's about walking towards something more meaningful. Walking away from an identity, a job, a person, a city, or a routine that doesn't push you toward your future is not failure, it is self-respect. You owe yourself a life that reflects your potential, not your past. To disappear and transform yourself, you must first disappear from the places where your growth is not possible. That might mean spending less time in rooms where the same old conversations echo with no progress. That might mean removing yourself from digital spaces that numb your thinking instead of sharpening it. That might mean refusing to give your time and energy to people who see you only as who you used to be. Transformation begins with boundaries. Not walls, but doors you choose to walk through and close behind you. There is freedom in letting go. There is power in starting again without the dead weight of what is no longer right. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for your life is to walk away from everything that's killing your spirit slowly. You are not responsible for preserving the comfort of the old you. You are responsible for creating space for the version of yourself you are becoming. And that means being willing to say no. No to people who waste your time. No to habits that keep you mentally stuck. No to the environments that never challenge you. No to thoughts that tell you you're not good enough. Every no is a new yes to the life you actually want. Leaving is not easy. It requires emotional strength. You will feel guilt when you start choosing yourself. You will question if you're being selfish. But there is a difference between selfishness and self-respect. You are not meant to sacrifice your purpose to make others feel comfortable with your growth. You are not meant to stay where you are not learning, growing, or becoming better. Growth does not happen by chance. It happens by choice. And sometimes that choice feels like loss before it feels like freedom. Many people hold on to broken things because they are familiar. They stay in places they've outgrown because they are afraid of being alone. But staying in something unfulfilling just to avoid the pain of change is a decision to stay small. Real growth always asks for sacrifice. You must trade comfort for clarity. You must trade noise for peace. You must trade the past for the possibility of something greater. Take a close look at your daily routine. What do you do every morning, every night, every weekend? Are these habits shaping the future you want or keeping you in the past? If your routine is filled with things that offer comfort but not growth, then you are maintaining a life, not transforming one. Replace one small habit at a time. Remove one distraction. Add one empowering practice. Change one thought pattern, one by one. These changes compound into something powerful. Your physical environment matters too. The space around you reflects the space inside you. If your room is filled with clutter from old memories and past versions of yourself, your mind will reflect that same chaos. Clean your space. Let go of items that belong to a version of you that no longer exists. This is not just physical cleaning. It's symbolic. It says, I am making room for who I am becoming. What you see around you daily becomes what you expect from yourself. Make your environment a mirror of your goals, not your history. And then there's the social environment. The people you allow into your mental and emotional space shape your energy more than you realize. If someone constantly pulls you into gossip, drama, or negativity, they are not neutral. They are stealing your clarity. If someone makes you feel small when you speak your dreams, they are not safe for your future. You don't need permission to step away. You need courage. The right people will respect your silence and support your growth, even if it means less access to you. Leaving what no longer builds your future also means leaving behind the need to explain yourself to everyone. Not everyone will understand your journey. Not everyone needs to. Your transformation is not a public performance. You don't need validation to start over. You don't need applause to take the next step. You need belief in yourself, in your path, in the quiet truth that your life can be more than what it has been. There will be moments when walking away feels like giving up, but understand this: giving up on what no longer grows you is a sign of strength, not weakness. You are not meant to hold on to every part of your story. Some chapters must be closed with purpose. Some relationships must be ended without blame. Some jobs must be left with gratitude and clarity. And some parts of yourself must be buried in order for something better to grow. It takes courage to admit that something once useful is now limiting. It takes strength to walk away without bitterness. It takes discipline to resist the urge to return to what's familiar, just because it's easy. The road to transformation is often lonely at first, but that silence, that space, is where your new life begins. It is in the quiet moments, when you've said goodbye to the old but haven't yet seen the new, that your deepest growth takes root. Do not rush to fill that space. Allow yourself to feel it, to sit with it, to respect what it means. You must trust that walking away opens doors you cannot yet see. You will not see instant rewards. The world will not immediately recognize your decision. You may feel invisible at first, but being unseen is sometimes the best place to rebuild. No pressure, no performance, just purpose. You are no longer living for approval. You are living for alignment. Start small if you must. Say no to one habit. Walk away from one conversation. Decline one invite that does not feel right. Every act of leaving is an act of choosing. You are not running away. You are moving on. And every step away from what holds you down is a step toward what lifts you up. This is your life. You do not owe it to the past. You do not owe it to old promises. You do not owe it to anyone's expectations. You owe it to the version of yourself who wakes up hungry for more. You owe it to your dreams. You owe it to your peace. You owe it to your future. Walk away from what makes you feel stuck. Walk away from what makes you feel small. Walk away from anything that doesn't feed your fire. The life you want is waiting on the other side of your willingness to leave behind what no longer builds you. That's not giving up. That's growing up, and that is where true transformation begins. Chapter 2. Delete old versions of yourself without guilt or fear. Every version of you that once existed had a purpose. Some versions protected you when you didn't know how to protect yourself. Some helped you survive in environments where you weren't truly seen. Some made choices based on fear, because they didn't yet understand their own worth. These older versions of you may have done the best they could with what they had. But now, you are no longer that person. You've outgrown the old ways of thinking, the behaviors that came from pain, the patterns that were shaped by fear, and the choices that were built on the idea that you were not enough. It is time to stop carrying them forward. Not because they were wrong, but because they are no longer needed. Holding on to outdated versions of yourself creates resistance every time you try to grow. You feel stuck, conflicted, and uncertain. That's not because you're not ready. It's because part of you is still loyal to a version of yourself that cannot come with you. You don't owe your past identity a lifetime. You owe it appreciation, respect, and then release. Growth is not about denying who you once were. It's about understanding that who you were doesn't have to define who you are. You can start again without shame. You can move forward without dragging the weight of old stories that no longer make sense. There's a quiet kind of freedom in deciding that you no longer have to act like the person you used to be. The world may try to remind you of that old version. People may expect you to keep playing the same role, to react the same way, to show up in ways that once made them comfortable, but you don't have to fit into the memory that others have of you. You're not here to meet their expectations. You're here to meet your potential. That means giving yourself full permission to evolve. The mind often clings to the past because it is familiar. It uses who you've been to predict who you'll be. That's how it tries to feel safe. But transformation is not safe. It is uncertain. It demands that you stop answering questions with old answers. It requires you to stop hiding behind labels that no longer speak for who you are. It asks you to stand in the unknown and choose something better, not because it's easy, but because it's true. Deleting old versions of yourself begins with noticing them. You have to recognize the moments when you're not responding from your current self, but from an outdated identity. Maybe you avoid speaking your mind because the old version of you feared rejection. Maybe you chase validation because the old version didn't feel valuable on their own. Maybe you shut down emotionally because the old version learned that vulnerability wasn't safe. Every time you react from an old pattern, you reinforce that identity. But every time you pause and choose something new, you start breaking that pattern. This is not about being perfect. This is about being conscious. It's about asking yourself whether your current actions are aligned with who you're becoming or who you've been taught to be. That gap, the space between your past identity and your present potential, is where your power lives. The more you step into that space and make new decisions, the more you erase what no longer fits. You will feel guilt when you start changing. That guilt will whisper things like, "You've changed too much, you're not being real, you're being fake." But those are just echoes from the past. They are the voice of a version of you that learned to survive, not thrive. That guilt is not truth, it's just discomfort, and discomfort is part of growth. You are not responsible for keeping your old self alive just because it's familiar. You are responsible for building a life that reflects your evolution. You may also feel fear, fear of judgment, fear of losing people who knew the older version of you, fear of making mistakes as you try to become someone new. That fear is natural, but it's not permanent. It passes when you take action. The more you act in alignment with who you want to be, the more your mind catches up. Confidence doesn't come from waiting for fear to go away. It comes from doing the thing while fear is still present. It comes from walking through fear and realizing that it cannot stop you. Some people will not like your transformation, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your growth challenges their comfort. They were used to the old version of you. They benefited from it. They understood how to control it. When you delete that version, they lose their grip. And some people don't want to face their own lack of change, so they criticize yours. That's not your problem to solve. You don't have to convince anyone. You don't have to explain. You don't even have to respond. The only validation you need is your own. Releasing the old version of you also means changing how you speak about yourself. Stop repeating stories that keep you locked in the past. Stop calling yourself names that reflect outdated beliefs. Stop making jokes that carry hidden pain. The words you use shape your identity. Speak to yourself like someone who is already becoming. Replace self-criticism with clarity. Replace doubt with direction. Replace regret with responsibility. You are allowed to be proud of how far you've come, even if others don't see it. Make space for your new identity through action. Start showing up differently, even in small ways. If the old version of you avoided challenge, do the hard thing today. If the old version stayed quiet, speak the truth this time. If the old version procrastinated, take one step forward now. You don't have to change everything overnight, but you do have to act. Nothing changes until your behavior changes. You can read, reflect, and plan all you want, but transformation happens in what you do, not what you think about doing. There's something powerful about making decisions based on who you're becoming instead of who you've been. Suddenly, you stop repeating cycles. You stop chasing things that never fulfilled you. You stop trying to win approval from people who don't understand your purpose, and you start creating a life that feels like yours. Not a copy of your past, not a response to your pain, but a life that fits you now. Your new self doesn't need to argue with the old one, it just needs to be lived. Let your actions speak, let your peace grow. Let your energy shift. You don't need to carry shame for who you were. You don't need to defend it. You don't even need to fix it. That version of you brought you here. But now it's your job to carry yourself forward. There will be days when you feel like slipping back into the old self. Days when the habits return, the thoughts resurface, the feelings of doubt sneak in. That's okay. That doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're human. Change isn't linear. It's a process of rising, falling, learning, and rising again. What matters is that you keep choosing the path forward, even when it feels hard. You are not your mistakes. You are not your past. You are not the person you were when you didn't know better. You are not required to keep replaying the same life. You are allowed to change your mind, your habits, your beliefs, your direction. You are allowed to become someone completely new without asking for permission. Every time you show up as your new self, Even when it feels uncomfortable, you send a message to your brain, your body, and your life. This is who I am now. And the more you do it, the more real it becomes. One decision at a time. One moment of awareness. One step of courage. This is how the old version fades. This is how the new one rises. You are not leaving behind something bad. You are making space for something better. You are not abandoning your old self. You are evolving beyond it. And there is no guilt or fear in that, only growth. Chapter 3. Choose a new name that reflects your true self. Your name holds weight, even if you've never noticed it. It's more than a sound people use to get your attention. It carries your story. It follows you into every room, every relationship, every challenge. The world attaches meaning to it, and so do you. Whether you realize it or not, your name becomes a symbol of how you see yourself. It becomes linked to your identity, your habits, your reputation, and your limitations. And sometimes it traps you in a version of yourself that no longer feels real. Choosing a new name isn't about erasing who you were. It's about choosing who you are ready to become. When you go through real transformation, your identity changes from the inside out. Your thoughts shift. Your priorities evolve. Your values become clearer, and at some point the name you've always answered to starts to feel like it belongs to someone else. Not because you hate your past, but because it doesn't match your future. There's something powerful about deciding how you want to be seen, how you want to speak about yourself, and how you want to show up in the world. Choosing a new name is a declaration. It says, I define who I am now. People often underestimate how deeply they've been shaped by the name they've always used. Every time it's spoken, it's tied to memories, to judgments, to expectations. You may hear it and instantly remember being overlooked, misunderstood, dismissed, or boxed in. You may hear it and feel like you're being pulled back into behaviors you've already outgrown. And if the name you carry doesn't reflect your truth, it becomes a chain. You don't owe your transformation to anyone, but when you choose a name that represents your growth, you give yourself permission to start living as the person you really are. This isn't just about legal names or nicknames. This is about ownership. You get to decide how you identify yourself. You get to decide what your life will stand for. Maybe that means using your middle name because it carries more peace. Maybe it means creating a name that feels like freedom. Maybe it's not even a full change, but a shift in how you introduce yourself, how you carry yourself, how you think of yourself when no one else is watching. Every act of naming yourself is an act of claiming your life. It is not about impressing anyone. It's about aligning with your truth. There's nothing weak about wanting to separate from a label that never felt right. You don't have to keep wearing a name just because others are used to it. You don't have to live under a name that holds pain, or shame, or history you've healed from. If something doesn't fit anymore, you are allowed to let it go. You are allowed to step into something new with clarity and intention, and you don't need a reason that makes sense to others. Your identity is not a group decision. You don't need permission to take control of it. A new name is a clean starting point, not because it erases the past, but because it refuses to be limited by it. When you speak a new name, you activate a new identity. You stop responding like you used to. You stop thinking in the same old cycle. You start rewriting the script of your life with more purpose. This isn't about pretending to be someone else. It's about stepping into the person you are always becoming, but hadn't yet claimed. Take time to reflect on what kind of life you want to live. Ask yourself who you are when you're not performing, not explaining, not trying to be accepted. Who are you when you are still, when you are honest, when you are strong in your solitude? That is the person your new name must serve. That is the version of you that deserves to be seen. You don't have to rush. You don't have to overthink. But you do have to listen, because deep inside, you already know what name feels right. You've just been taught to ignore it. You're not choosing a name for applause or recognition. You're choosing it for peace. You're choosing it for power. You're choosing it because you finally understand that no one else can tell you who to be. The right name makes you stand taller, speak clearer, and live more fully. It gives you a direction. It helps you show up in your own life with the presence and focus you've always wanted. It clears out the noise and replaces it with something solid. Some people will be confused when you change your name. Some may resist it or try to minimize it. That's okay. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't need anyone's approval to live in alignment with your truth. The ones who care about your growth will respect your choice. The ones who don't are not meant to walk with you into this new chapter. You don't have to carry the weight of their expectations anymore. A new name gives you space to rebuild your relationship with yourself. It allows you to think new thoughts about who you are. It opens up opportunities to create new routines, new values, new boundaries. It's a symbol, but it's also a tool. Every time you hear it, you're reminded of the life you're building, not the one you've left behind. Every time you speak it, you reinforce the commitment you've made to your own evolution. That's not surface-level change, that's internal power. You can practice living as your new identity before anyone else knows. Write it down, speak it out loud in private, sign it in your journal. Use it in your thoughts, make it real in your mind first. The more you connect with it, the more natural it becomes. And when you're ready, bring it into the world without hesitation. Own it without shrinking. Say it without apology. This is your life, and you get to decide what it looks like. Some people fear that changing their name means abandoning their root, but honoring where you came from doesn't mean staying stuck in who you were. You can carry lessons forward without carrying every label. You can love your history without living in it. Your new name is not a rejection of your past, it's a celebration of your future. It's a sign that you've done the work, that you've paid attention, that you've chosen to live with intention instead of habit. Think of your new name as a door. Every time you use it, you walk through that door with more confidence. You leave behind versions of yourself that no longer speak for your vision. You leave behind the noise, the pain, the confusion, and you walk into something you built with clarity, with courage, and with discipline. Not everyone will understand what this step means to you, but you will, and that's enough. You are allowed to be new. You are allowed to shift. You are allowed to take control of your narrative in ways that make sense only to you. And you don't have to wait until the world is ready. The moment you decide, the moment you choose to live in alignment with who you really are, your transformation becomes real. One decision, one word, one name. That's all it takes to begin again on your own terms. Chapter 4. Build a private life that protects your inner peace. Peace is not found in more noise or more attention. It is not the result of being seen, heard, praised, or liked by everyone around you. Peace begins the moment you stop explaining yourself to people who do not understand your path. A private life is not a hidden life. It is a life lived with intention, with protection, with the understanding that not everything sacred must be shared. In a world where oversharing is celebrated and validation is chased like currency, building a private life is a radical act of self-respect. It is choosing to prioritize your mental and emotional stability over fleeting recognition. When you build a private life, you give yourself space to grow without performance. You stop living through other people's opinions. You no longer shape your identity based on reactions. You begin to protect what matters before it gets diluted by unnecessary exposure. There is nothing weak about keeping your progress to yourself. There is strength in restraint. There is clarity in keeping parts of your journey away from constant feedback. When you are too visible, you invite too many opinions. When you are too open, you leave the door wide for misunderstanding. A private life allows your transformation to unfold without pressure. It gives your ideas, your healing, your direction the silence it needs to grow properly. You are not a product to be consumed. You are not a character in someone else's timeline. You are allowed to keep parts of your story for yourself. You do not need to share every decision. You do not need to explain your dreams. You do not need to defend your boundaries. You do not need to post proof of your progress. The desire to share often comes from the fear of being forgotten. But when you are rooted in purpose, you don't need attention to feel real. A private life lets you connect with yourself without interruption. It brings you back to what actually matters, how you think, how you feel, how you live, not how others respond to it. Privacy is not about isolation. It is about alignment. It is about choosing silence, not because you have nothing to say, but because not everything needs to be said out loud. It is about protecting your focus from being scattered. It is about doing the work in peace instead of being distracted by judgment. When your life is too open, your energy becomes fragmented. You begin to seek approval instead of direction. You begin to question your own path every time someone else comments on it. Privacy removes the noise and gives you back your power to choose without influence. Start by asking yourself how much of your life is lived for others to see. Look at your habits. Are you doing things to be witnessed or to be fulfilled? Are you making choices that reflect your values or choices that will get you likes, attention, or validation? Your peace begins when you stop living for reaction and start living for reality. A quiet, focused, consistent life will always lead to deeper fulfillment than one built on public performance. Not everyone needs to know your goals. Not everyone deserves access to your personal process. The people who truly care about you will not need proof. They will trust your silence. Protect your routines. Keep your healing sacred. Guard your intentions. Don't allow every voice to influence how you move. Too many opinions weaken your vision. Too many updates dilute your energy. You don't owe the world your journey in real time. You can build quietly. You can change silently. You can succeed in peace. When your life is private, your energy stays centered. You don't waste time defending choices that were never meant for public debate. You don't lose momentum trying to convince others to understand your growth. This is not about being secretive. It is about being selective. Not everyone should be in the room where you are building yourself. Not everyone should be allowed to comment on the parts of your life that are still tender, fragile, and forming. Sharing too early exposes you to opinions that can damage your direction. Let your growth take root before you make it visible. Let your peace become strong before you let the world test it. A tree does not reveal its roots, but the strength of those roots is what holds it steady when storms come. A private life also helps you connect more deeply with people who matter. When you're not distracted by managing a public image, you have more energy for real connection. You speak with more intention. You listen with more presence. You show up with more depth. Relationships built in privacy often last longer because they are not constantly under the pressure of outside expectations. You grow together without performance. You support each other without the need for applause. There's freedom in not being watched. You can fail quietly. You can try new things without shame. You can experiment, reflect, adjust. When every move is public, you become afraid to make mistakes. That fear makes you stagnant. Privacy allows creativity. It makes space for bold moves. It gives you permission to evolve without pressure. And that evolution is where real transformation happens. Choose what stays private. Keep your plans close until they become results. Keep your healing sacred until it becomes strength. Keep your process personal until it becomes power. Privacy gives you time to listen to your own voice before letting in the noise of others. It gives you time to understand yourself without the filter of public opinion. The more you protect your space, the more your clarity grows. And clarity is what gives you peace. Not everything meaningful needs to be announced. Not every win needs to be posted. Not every lesson needs to be shared. Some things are just for you. Some changes are sacred. Some paths are meant to be walked in silence. And when you respect that silence, you build a life that is solid. Not loud, not dramatic, not dependent on attention, but real. You build a life that feels like home. A place where you can return to yourself. A place where your peace is not on display. A place where your soul can breathe. That is what a private life creates. And once you feel it, you will never want anything else. Chapter 5. Cut contact with people who drain your energy. Some people leave you feeling heavier after every conversation, not because they are bad, but because they have chosen to remain in patterns that drain rather than build. If you are serious about transforming your life, you have to stop giving your energy to people who consistently leave you depleted. Your energy is not unlimited. Every interaction shapes your clarity, your mood, your direction. When you continue to stay close to people who constantly take but never give, you slowly erase the strength you're working hard to build. This isn't cruelty. This is necessary. You are allowed to protect your energy like it's your life, because it is. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with someone. If you walk away feeling tired, discouraged, misunderstood, or invisible, that's not a small sign. That's your body telling you the connection is costing you too much. People who always bring chaos, gossip, pessimism, or emotional weight you didn't ask for are not neutral presences. They influence how you think and how you feel. When someone is always in crisis, always in need, always in control, always negative, or always dismissive, your nervous system has to work overtime. That stress builds slowly, and over time it becomes exhaustion that you can't explain. That exhaustion will keep you stuck. Cutting contact does not always mean dramatic exits. It means clarity. It means recognizing when someone consistently leaves you worse off and choosing not to give them access anymore. You can love someone and still choose distance. You can care about someone and still know that they are not good for your peace. You don't owe anyone unlimited access to your mental, emotional, or spiritual space just because you have a history. If someone keeps showing you that they cannot meet you where you are going, you have to stop inviting them along for the ride. Growth is not always shared. Sometimes the people you've known the longest understand you the least, and sometimes the people closest to you feel most threatened by your evolution. That's not your responsibility to fix. You are not here to shrink so others feel safe. You are not here to carry people who refuse to walk. You are not here to explain your progress to those committed to staying the same. The more you try to please people who drain you, the more disconnected you become from yourself. There is nothing selfish about walking away from relationships that hurt more than they help. Your energy is your fuel. If it's always being burned by unnecessary drama, constant emotional labor, or unreciprocated support, you will never have enough left to invest in your own healing, focus, or direction. Every time you tolerate someone who makes your life harder, you teach yourself that your peace is not worth protecting. And that belief will sabotage every goal you set. You do not need permission to cut ties with people who make you feel small. You don't need to wait until things get worse. You don't need a final reason that makes sense to anyone else. The moment you realize someone is taking more from you than they are giving, that is enough. The more you delay, the more damage is done. Some people will not change. Some people will not see you clearly. Some people only want access to the old version of you. And if you let them stay, they will block the new version from taking full form. Start with emotional honesty. Ask yourself why you keep holding on. Is it guilt, fear, obligation, familiarity? Often we confuse history with loyalty. But time doesn't make a relationship healthy. Repetition doesn't make it safe. If someone only shows up when they need something, if they manipulate your kindness, if they belittle your growth, you are not in a relationship, you are in a cycle. And cycles don't break by hoping. They break by action. Cutting contact may feel cold, but it is a form of care for yourself. It tells your nervous system that you are safe now. It teaches your mind that you no longer have to tolerate what you once accepted. It reinforces the message that your life is worth protecting. Some people will not understand your decision. They may call you selfish, distant, fake, or harsh, but you are not responsible for how someone feels about a boundary that keeps you healthy. Their reaction is not your problem to manage. Your job is to stay focused on the life you're building. Not everyone needs closure. Not every relationship deserves a final conversation. Sometimes silence is the boundary. Sometimes disappearing from the reach of toxic energy is the only way to survive and thrive. You don't have to explain your healing. You don't have to list your reasons. You don't have to revisit the pain just to justify the decision. If it hurts every time you return, you are not supposed to go back. You can leave quietly. You can move forward in peace. You can free yourself without seeking approval. The people who genuinely support you will never drain you. They will fill you, lift you, challenge you, remind you of your worth. They won't compete with your light. They won't dismiss your growth. They won't pull you into chaos when you're seeking peace. Those are the connections you build around. Those are the people you let in. But first, you have to make space. You have to clear out what no longer belongs. And that means saying goodbye to people who can't meet you where you are going. You are not here to carry the weight of people who choose to remain heavy. You are here to move freely, to think clearly, to live intentionally. That starts with protecting your energy like your future depends on it, because it does. Don't let guilt become a leash. Don't let comfort become a cage. Don't let fear keep you close to what keeps you stuck. You are allowed to walk away from anything that empties you faster than you can refill. Choose peace over pleasing. Choose clarity over confusion. Choose growth over guilt. If someone cannot respect your boundaries, they do not deserve your presence. If someone resents your progress, they are not safe for your vision. If someone consistently makes your life feel heavier, they are not meant to stay. Let go with strength. Let go without apology. Let go with the full understanding that your life is yours to protect, and you are not required to sacrifice your well-being just to keep others comfortable. That is not loyalty. That is self-abandonment, and you are done with that now. Chapter 6. Change your daily routine to match your new path. Your daily routine is a reflection of your priorities, whether you realize it or not. What you do each day becomes the architecture of your future. You cannot expect a new life to grow out of the same habits that built the old one. If you're serious about transformation, your routine must be redesigned with purpose. It cannot be based on convenience, reaction, or autopilot behavior. It must be rooted in clarity. You have to look at each part of your day and ask one question: does this move me toward the person I am becoming? If the answer is no, it needs to be replaced. Your habits either reinforce your evolution or protect your comfort zone. There is no middle ground. Changing your daily routine is not about overhauling your entire life overnight. It's about choosing to live each hour with intention instead of habit. You don't need a complicated plan or rigid schedule. You need commitment. You need structure that reflects your values, not your past. Your routine should serve your growth, not your survival mode. Most people stay stuck because they wake up and do what they've always done, hoping somehow the result will be different. But repetition without reflection leads to stagnation. If your morning begins with distraction, your whole day will follow the same rhythm. If your evening ends with avoidance, your sleep will be shallow. Small choices build your direction. Your routine is not just how you spend time, it's how you build identity. The first step is to define what your new path actually requires. It's not enough to say you want to change, you must become specific. What kind of person are you trying to become? What kind of life do you want to live? What kind of results are you committed to creating? Then ask yourself what behaviors align with that path. The version of you that is focused, disciplined, calm and clear does not wake up scrolling through their phone, procrastinating their responsibilities, or ending the day numbing their mind. That version lives on purpose. You must create a routine that mirrors that mindset before the results show up. The behavior must come before the breakthrough. Start with your mornings. That is your foundation. You must own the first hour of your day before the world takes over your attention. Don't wait for motivation to arrive. Build a system that functions even when your emotions fluctuate. Make your morning routine sacred. Wake up early enough to have time alone with your thoughts. Avoid digital distractions. Begin with stillness, reflection, reading, movement, or planning. Whatever strengthens your clarity and emotional discipline must take priority. You are not just preparing for the day, you are shaping your future with how you begin. If you treat the morning as chaos, your entire life will reflect it. Next, evaluate your midday habits. Where is your energy going? Who or what is consuming your attention? You must guard your focus like it's your most valuable resource, because it is. Make space for deep work, for intentional action, for meaningful progress. Don't allow noise, comparison, or interruption to dictate your pace. Block time. Set clear priorities. Honor your calendar. If something is not aligned with your purpose, it does not deserve your time. Be honest about how much you're allowing distraction to disguise itself as busyness. You don't need to do more. You need to do what matters with more intensity. Your routine must include moments of silence. Without stillness, your mind cannot reset. You cannot hear yourself clearly when the day is filled with noise. Build in short breaks to check in with your breath, your body, your thoughts. Protect these pauses. They are not wasted time. They are moments of grounding that keep you from running on empty. Without them, burnout becomes inevitable. You are not a machine. You are a human being who needs space to process, reflect and realign. Your evenings are where the pattern is either broken or repeated. End your day with the same level of care that you start it. Don't collapse into distractions. Use this time to review, to reset, to prepare. Keep your environment clean and calm. Reflect on what worked and what didn't. Write down your thoughts. Plan for tomorrow with clarity. Disconnect from screens long before sleep. Let your mind wind down naturally. If your nights are chaotic, your mornings will carry that weight. And if your mornings suffer, your entire day is compromised. Your routine is a circle. Each part feeds into the next. You must honor the full cycle to live with power. This transformation won't happen instantly. You will resist. You will slip. You will want to go back to comfort. That's expected. The goal is not perfection. The goal is consistency. You are not trying to create a flawless schedule. You are trying to live in a way that supports your next level. You're building habits that hold you accountable to your purpose. That requires discipline. It requires saying no to comfort in exchange for growth. You won't always feel like following through. That's why routines matter. They carry you through the moments when your emotions don't. Track your progress, not for praise, but for awareness. Pay attention to how your energy shifts. Notice how your mind becomes clearer. Feel how your anxiety softens when your days are structured with care. These small victories are proof that your life is moving forward. Don't measure your worth by massive leaps. Measure it by your ability to follow through daily on what matters most. Success is built in the patterns you repeat. Transformation is built in the hours no one sees. Protect your new routine from sabotage. People will try to pull you back into the old rhythm. Invitations will come. Distractions will rise. Your past habits will beg for your attention. Stand firm. You are not obligated to return to what you've outgrown. You are not here to live by default. You are here to build on purpose. That means saying no often. That means restructuring your day even when it's inconvenient. That means honoring your commitment even when no one is watching. Your future depends on how you manage your time now. You don't need a perfect plan. You need action. Start small. Replace one habit, shift 1 hour. Protect one morning. Track one behavior. Build from there. The point is not to do everything at once. The point is to do one thing well, and then stack more wins. Your routine is your strategy. Make it match your future, not your past. The way you live each day is the way you build your legacy. Choose each action with that truth in mind. Your path is not created by wishful thinking. It is shaped by repeated discipline. You are not waiting for change. You are building it hour by hour. Chapter 7. Create powerful goals that give your life direction. Your life doesn't move forward by accident. If you want change, if you want purpose, if you want to stop waking up feeling lost or stuck, you have to set goals that actually mean something to you. Goals are not wishes. They are not vague ideas or hopeful feelings. They are specific decisions that turn your values into action. They give your life structure. They give your mind focus. They give your days urgency. Without goals, you drift. Without goals, you repeat. Without goals, you start to live for comfort instead of growth. The person you want to become does not appear out of nowhere. That version of you is built through direction. And direction comes from goals that are bold, personal, and deeply connected to your vision. Creating powerful goals starts with self-honesty. You have to know what you actually want, not what others expect from you. Not what sounds good to say, and not what you think is realistic based on your past. You have to separate your true desire from your fears. If you shrink your goals to avoid failure, you're already choosing to stay the same. Powerful goals are honest, even if they feel uncomfortable. You're not here to play small. You're here to align with the future that excites you and scares you at the same time. That's where growth begins. Look at your life right now and ask yourself where you feel the most frustrated or unfulfilled. Those places often hold the clearest signs of what needs to change. You don't need to solve everything at once, but you do need to get serious about what direction matters most. Is it your physical health, your discipline, your financial habits, your emotional control, your career path, your relationships? Every major shift begins with a goal that is rooted in clarity. Vague desires create vague effort. Specific goals create specific action. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to define your next step with precision. A real goal must challenge you. If it feels too easy, it won't hold your attention. If it doesn't demand more from you, it won't pull you out of your current mindset. The purpose of a goal is not to impress people. It's to break through the limitations you've accepted for too long. It's to build new behavior patterns that match your future instead of your past. You need goals that force you to confront your distractions, your procrastination, and your excuses. You need goals that keep you grounded in action when motivation fades. Write your goals down, every single one of them. Get them out of your head and into the real world. The page is where goals become visible. Until you see them clearly in writing, they remain floating ideas with no accountability. And when you write them down, use words that matter to you. Avoid generic language. Avoid safe phrasing. Use language that speaks directly to your mind and soul. Make it personal, make it real, make it bold. Once you've written your goals, break them down into systems. Goals without systems remain wishes. You cannot control the outcome, but you can control the process. If your goal is to get stronger, your system is your training plan and diet. If your goal is to become more disciplined, your system is your daily routine and boundaries. If your goal is to build confidence, your system is the repetition of small acts that build trust in yourself. The system is what you commit to daily. It removes the emotional ups and downs. It gives you structure when you don't feel inspired. Discipline is built through systems, not mood. Track your progress with honesty, not judgment. You are not perfect, and you're not supposed to be. The goal is not flawless execution. The goal is consistency. You will slip. You will doubt yourself. You will have days where everything feels harder. That doesn't mean the goal is wrong. It means you are stretching. Stay with it. Don't wait for things to get easier. Get stronger. Real goals change you by demanding new levels of effort. You can't stay the same and expect a new life. Progress requires discomfort. Get used to it. Welcome it. Use it. Cut off anything that interferes with your progress. That includes people, habits, and mindsets that weaken your focus. If it doesn't support your goal, it's a distraction. If it pulls you away from your purpose, it's costing you more than you think. Powerful goals require sacrifice. You cannot keep your comfort and your breakthrough. One must be chosen. You must protect your goals with intensity. This is your life. This is your time. Nothing changes until you commit fully. Your goals must live in your environment. Put reminders where you can see them. Place them in your mirror, your journal, your phone, your workspace. Constant visual cues reinforce what matters. They keep your focus clear when the noise of life tries to pull you off track. Don't leave your goals hidden. Don't let them be an occasional thought. Make them part of your daily awareness. Repetition creates belief, and belief fuels action. Set deadlines that create urgency. Open-ended goals die in procrastination. When you give yourself time frames, you train your mind to move with purpose, not to rush, but to act. Deadlines push you to stop waiting for the perfect moment. They remind you that progress doesn't happen when it's convenient, it happens when it's necessary. Stop hoping for someday. Build systems that demand today. Review your goals often. Adjust them when needed, but never lower them out of fear. If you need to change the approach, change it. If you need to take smaller steps, take them, but keep the destination bold. Keep the target meaningful. You are capable of more than you've been told. You are stronger than your habits. You are wiser than your distractions. When your goals are rooted in truth, you will find the strength to keep going even when no one claps, even when no one sees, even when it feels like nothing is changing yet. There is no success without direction, and there is no direction without goals. They give you something to aim at when life gets confusing. They help you wake up with purpose when everything feels uncertain. They give you structure when the world feels chaotic. You are not lost, you are just not anchored. Powerful goals give you that anchor. They help you choose actions that align with your future instead of your fear. Don't wait for perfect timing. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait until everything is figured out. Decide who you are becoming, and set goals that move you toward that life with urgency. You are not here to drift. You are here to create. You are here to build. You are here to transform. Powerful goals are the blueprint. The rest is action. Choose wisely. Start now, and don't stop until your life reflects everything you decided was possible. Chapter 8. Focus deeply on one thing that improves your mind. Your mind is the command center of your entire life. The thoughts you allow, the skills you develop, and the discipline you practice all begin there. If your mind is scattered, distracted, and unfocused, your actions will reflect that. Real growth does not require doing everything. It requires doing one thing with full attention and commitment. One thing, done with focus, has more power than a dozen things done halfway. You don't need more noise, more stimulation, or more information. You need depth. You need to choose one thing that strengthens your thinking, sharpens your perception, and deepens your awareness, and you need to give it everything you've got. The modern world celebrates multitasking, but divided attention leads to shallow living. Every time you switch between tasks, conversations, or goals, you weaken your ability to go deep. Your brain becomes reactive instead of reflective. You start responding instead of creating. Depth comes from focus, power comes from presence, and clarity comes from doing one thing long enough to master it. There is no wisdom in doing more if each thing gets less of you. You do not grow by touching many things briefly. You grow by staying with one thing long enough to understand it deeply. Choose one thing that improves your mind. This choice must be intentional. It can be reading books that challenge your thinking. It can be learning a skill that requires mental discipline. It can be practicing deep thinking through writing, meditation, or analysis. It doesn't matter what the thing is, as long as it forces your brain to focus, stretch, and evolve. The purpose is not entertainment. The purpose is transformation. You are not choosing a hobby. You are choosing a habit that sharpens your mental clarity and changes how you experience the world. Once you choose, eliminate everything that competes for your attention. Close the tabs, silence the noise, remove the quick hits of distraction that reward you with temporary pleasure but leave you mentally weaker. Your brain adapts to what you feed it. Feed it chaos and it becomes chaotic. Feed it depth and it becomes sharp. Most people are stuck in a loop of shallow engagement, endless scrolling, jumping between ideas, avoiding boredom at all costs. But boredom is where depth begins. When you stay with one task through boredom, you develop patience. When you work past the urge to quit, you build strength. The ability to stay with something when it no longer feels exciting is one of the most powerful mental muscles you can train. Focus is not something you're born with, it's something you develop through repetition. The more you train yourself to stay with one thing, the more your mind adapts to deeper thinking. The first few days may feel frustrating, your attention may wander, you may crave distraction. But that is the old version of you resisting change. Don't negotiate with it. Don't justify quitting. Sit with the discomfort and continue. Day by day, your ability to stay with the process will grow stronger. You'll begin to feel moments of clarity you didn't have before. You'll see connections you used to miss. You'll build mental endurance that carries into every part of your life. When you give your full attention to something that grows your mind, you stop seeking shallow stimulation. You stop chasing easy rewards. You develop the capacity to delay gratification, to think ahead, to reflect before reacting. These are not just useful skills. These are life-changing tools that shape your future. Everything that elevates your life begins with how you think, and how you think is shaped by what you consistently focus on. Be deliberate with your time. Create a space in your day that is free from interruption. Use that time to go deep into your chosen area. Set a clear start and end. Turn off your phone. Remove background noise. Give that time the same respect you would give to something sacred, because that block of time is your training ground. It's where you disconnect from the noise and reconnect with the part of you that is capable of greatness. Don't skip it. Don't shorten it. Don't fill it with half-hearted effort. Treat it as the most important part of your day, because it's where your real transformation begins. Track your progress without judgment. The goal is not to become perfect overnight. The goal is to become more focused than you were yesterday. If you stayed with your chosen task for 10 minutes without distraction, that's a win. If you read one chapter, wrote one page, solved one problem, or reflected without reacting, that's growth. These moments done consistently compound over time. They create mental strength that no one can take from you. They build resilience that helps you stay calm in chaos, clear in confusion, and confident in your decisions. Don't wait to feel motivated. Don't wait for the perfect environment. Don't wait until you're in the right mood. Discipline grows in discomfort. Focus grows through effort. Show up, no matter what. Even on the days when it feels hard. Even on the days when you feel distracted. Especially on those days, that's when the growth happens. That's when your mind begins to realize you're serious. The mind resists what it doesn't understand. Show it through action that you are here to build, not escape. As you stay consistent, you will notice changes, not just in your thinking, but in how you see the world. You'll start asking better questions. You'll notice patterns that used to escape you. You'll respond instead of react. You'll become more aware of your thoughts, more selective with your words, more patient with your process. This is not about becoming smarter. It's about becoming clearer. Intelligence without clarity creates chaos. But a focused mind sees through noise. It chooses wisely. It builds intentionally. It leads with strength. Eventually, your one thing will become a foundation. It will give rise to new interests, new ideas, and new levels of mastery. But you must earn that expansion. You must stay with the first thing until it becomes part of you. Then, and only then, can you expand without scattering your energy. Most people try to grow in 10 directions at once and end up going nowhere. You are choosing the opposite. You are choosing depth before expansion, substance before variety, mastery before multitasking. This is the way to build a powerful mind. One task, one habit, 1 hour, done with intensity, done with presence, done without needing to prove anything. The quiet work creates the loudest results. You don't need applause. You need focus. You don't need to be busy. You need to be effective. You don't need to do everything. You need to do one thing that makes you stronger. And if you stay with it every day without quitting, you will look back months from now and realize how far you've come. Not because you rushed, not because you did everything, but because you chose one thing, stayed with it, and let it change you. That is how you build a mind that leads. That is how you shape a life that rises. That is how you focus deeply on one thing that improves your mind and never look back. Chapter 9. Wake up early and take control of your day. Waking up early is not about following a trend or proving your discipline to anyone. It is about claiming the hours that no one can take from you. In the early morning, the world is still. There is no noise pulling your attention in 10 directions. There are no demands, no distractions, no unnecessary conversations, just time that belongs fully to you. When you wake up early with intention, you gain the advantage of clarity. You meet the day on your terms. You move ahead while others are still sleeping through their potential. And the way you begin shapes the way you continue. If you want to build a life of power and peace, it starts by taking full control of the first hour. Most people wake up as a reaction. They open their eyes already behind. They check their phone before they check their breath. They rush through the morning without presence. They start the day stressed, unfocused, and at the mercy of whatever pulls at them first. That way of living creates anxiety. It creates fatigue. It creates mental fog. But when you choose to wake up early with purpose, you flip the script. You lead instead of follow. You respond instead of react. You set the rhythm instead of being dragged by it. You don't need to wake up hours before the sun. You don't need to follow someone else's exact routine. You need to wake up early enough to meet yourself before the noise of life begins. That time is for you to strengthen your mind, prepare your body, focus your goals, and center your attention. It doesn't matter if it's 30 minutes or 2 hours. What matters is what you do with it. Those early minutes are sacred. They are your daily reset. They are where you decide who you will be for the rest of the day. To take control of your day, you must first separate yourself from everything that distracts you from what matters. That starts the moment your alarm goes off. Don't hit snooze. That first choice sets the tone. Get out of bed with commitment. Make your body move before your mind starts making excuses. Begin with something simple but intentional. Stretch, breathe, hydrate, or reflect. Let your first actions show your system that you are awake not just physically, but mentally. Do not open your phone. Do not scroll. Do not allow digital noise into your mind before you have centered yourself. That habit alone can change everything. Use the early hours to remind yourself of your mission. Review your goals. Write them down again if you need to. Remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. In the morning, your mind is open. It is more receptive. It is not yet full of the world's demands. That is the perfect time to shape your thinking, to affirm your direction, to visualize the progress you will make. This is not about positive thinking. This is about mental training. You are directing your thoughts before they are hijacked by chaos. Move your body, even if it's just a walk, a stretch, or a few minutes of movement. Get your system activated. The body and mind are connected. When you move early, you send a message to your brain. We are alive. We are ready. We are in control. That momentum will carry into the rest of your day. Energy does not just appear. It is created through action. Don't wait to feel ready. Move first. The feeling will follow. Once your mind is clear and your body is awake, choose your top priorities for the day. Not a long to-do list, just 1 to 3 important actions that align with your larger goals. These are the tasks that matter most. These are the actions that build your future. Choose them with intention. Write them down. Protect time to do them. If possible, do one of them early, before distractions begin. When you complete a meaningful task first thing in the day, you carry a sense of power and confidence into everything else. That win compounds. Taking control of your day means refusing to let time slip through your hands. Most people don't lose time because they're lazy. They lose time because they never claimed it in the first place. They let the day happen to them. They respond to everything. They follow other people's priorities. But you are not most people. You are building a new life. That life is created one day at a time, and each day is shaped by how you begin. Waking up early is also a practice in self-respect. It says, I care enough about my future to meet it early. It says, I will no longer waste time pretending tomorrow will be different. It says, I will lead my life rather than wait for someone else to lead it for me. These early hours are not about perfection. They are about presence. They are about choosing to show up when it's easy to stay comfortable. That choice builds character. You will not always feel motivated. Some mornings will feel heavy. Some days your mind will resist. But your progress is not built on how you feel. It is built on what you choose. Discipline means you do the work even when the mood is absent, and when you prove to yourself that you can rise without needing motivation, you build trust with yourself. That trust is priceless. It becomes the foundation for every other habit you build. If you want change, start with your mornings. Don't wait until life calms down. Don't wait until you feel like it. Begin now. Set your alarm a little earlier. Choose one simple action to start your day. Make it a ritual. Protect it from interruption. Let it grow. Over time, that space will become your anchor. It will become the time where you strengthen your mind, set your direction, and step into your power. The rest of the world can wait. Your future cannot. Every day you wake up early, with purpose. You send a message to your old self, that version of you that slept through life, that avoided hard choices, that made excuses. That version is fading. In its place, a new self is rising, focused, intentional, disciplined, and clear. That is not an accident. That is the result of a simple but powerful decision to wake up and lead your life, one morning at a time. Chapter 10. Practice being alone until silence feels like power. Being alone is not the same as being lonely. In fact, true solitude is a powerful practice that sharpens your mind, deepens your self-awareness, and strengthens your emotional resilience. Most people fear silence because it forces them to confront thoughts and feelings they usually avoid. They fill their lives with noise, distractions, and company to escape the emptiness of being with themselves. But when you learn to be alone without fear, when you welcome silence rather than run from it, you step into a rare kind of power. Silence becomes a tool to calm the chaos inside and connect with the clarity that has been waiting beneath the surface all along. You don't need to be surrounded by people to feel whole or valuable. In fact, solitude can reveal who you are beneath the roles, opinions, and expectations imposed by others. When you create space to be alone, you allow yourself to listen without interruption. You begin to hear your true thoughts, your honest desires, and your hidden fears. This kind of self-communication is the foundation for transformation. Without it, change is superficial and unstable. Silence creates a container where your real self can emerge free from judgment and distraction. Practicing being alone is not about escaping the world. It is about training your mind to find peace within yourself, regardless of external circumstances. It requires courage because it means facing your internal noise, your doubts, regrets, anxieties, and regrets without fleeing. When you first sit in silence, it can feel uncomfortable. Your mind will want to jump to worries or plans or random thoughts. This is normal. It's your old habits trying to protect you from discomfort. But every time you return to stillness, you build strength. You prove to yourself that you can hold space for your thoughts without being controlled by them. This practice also teaches patience. In silence, time feels slower. Without distractions, you must learn to sit with boredom and restlessness. That is where growth happens. When you resist the urge to fill every moment with noise or action, you develop the ability to wait, to observe, and to respond wisely rather than impulsively. Silence slows your racing mind and helps you develop clarity. The more you practice, the more you realize that silence is not emptiness, but fullness. It is not weakness, but strength. It is the quiet power behind every great decision, every deep insight, and every lasting change. Being alone also sharpens your emotional resilience. When you stop running from uncomfortable feelings, you start to understand them. You learn that anxiety, sadness, or anger are not enemies to be feared, but signals to be listened to. You gain the ability to regulate your emotions, because you are no longer dependent on external validation or distraction. Silence becomes a mirror reflecting your inner state without distortion. This awareness is the beginning of emotional freedom. When you practice being alone, you build the capacity to remain calm in chaos, steady in uncertainty, and centered in conflict. You can start practicing alone by setting aside short periods each day where you disconnect from technology, people, and noise. Find a quiet place and sit with yourself. Observe your thoughts without judgment. Notice your breath, notice your body, resist the urge to distract yourself. This is not about forcing your mind to be empty. It is about becoming aware of what is present without needing to change it immediately. Over time, these moments will grow longer and more comfortable. Silence will begin to feel less like a void and more like a refuge. Create rituals around your alone time. This could be morning meditation, evening reflection, or simply a walk without your phone. Protect this time fiercely. Treat it as essential, not optional. The more consistent you are, the more silence becomes a natural part of your life. You will notice your thoughts become clearer. Your decisions become more grounded. Your relationships become more authentic, because you are no longer seeking connection out of fear or avoidance, but from genuine presence. Learning to be alone is also about setting boundaries. You must protect your time and space from distractions and demands that pull you away from yourself. Saying no is part of this process. It means recognizing when you need silence and honoring that need without guilt. It means valuing your inner peace over temporary approval. When you protect your solitude, you build a sanctuary that no one can invade without your permission. This sanctuary is where you regenerate your strength and vision. Silence can be intimidating because it forces honesty. It removes excuses and distractions. But with that honesty comes liberation. When you face yourself fully, you stop seeking outside approval or distraction to fill a gap inside. You begin to live with integrity because your actions align with your true self, not a mask you wear for others. This alignment creates peace that no external circumstance can shake. The power of silence is that it reconnects you to your authentic center. As you practice being alone, you may discover parts of yourself you never knew existed: creativity, wisdom, patience, and resilience. These qualities were always within you but buried beneath noise and busyness. Silence uncovers them. It gives you the space to nurture them. It gives you the strength to act from them. When silence feels like power, you carry that calm confidence into every area of your life. You become less reactive and more intentional. You speak less but listen more. You choose carefully but act decisively. This transformation does not happen overnight. It requires patience, commitment, and courage. You will face resistance from your mind, your emotions, and even from people around you who do not understand your new priorities. That resistance is a sign that you are on the right path. Keep going. Keep practicing. The more you sit in silence, the more you discover that true power is not loud or flashy. It is quiet, steady, and deeply rooted. It is the power of knowing yourself without apology. In this practice, you learn that being alone is not a punishment or a problem to fix. It is a gift. It is an opportunity to recharge, reflect, and realign. It is where your true strength is built. When silence becomes your power, you live without fear of emptiness or loneliness, because you know you are whole on your own. You become a force not because of noise or attention, but because of presence and depth. This is the foundation for lasting transformation. This is the practice that will carry you forward no matter what challenges arise. Embrace the quiet moments. Protect your solitude. Let silence teach you to trust yourself. Let it reveal your inner strength. This is how you build a life that is unshakable. This is how you find peace that is beyond circumstance. This is how you practice being alone until silence feels like power. Chapter 11. Master your thoughts to break mental chains forever. Your mind can either be your prison or your sanctuary. The thoughts you entertain shape the limits you accept and the possibilities you pursue. Most people live under invisible chains, forged by unexamined beliefs, fears, and repetitive negative self-talk. These mental chains restrict your freedom long before any external obstacle appears. Mastering your thoughts means recognizing that you hold the key to unlocking those chains. It means learning to observe, challenge, and redirect your thinking so you no longer serve as your own worst enemy. This mastery is not about controlling every thought, but about choosing which thoughts you give power to and which you let go. The first step to mastering your thoughts is awareness. You must become a vigilant observer of your inner dialogue. Notice the recurring patterns, especially the ones that limit or harm you. Pay attention to the automatic thoughts that flood your mind when you face difficulty or uncertainty. Most of these thoughts are not facts. They are interpretations shaped by your past experiences, biases, and fears. Distinguishing between fact and opinion is crucial. When you realize that many of your mental chains are built on assumptions rather than reality, you begin to loosen their grip. Thought mastery requires questioning the validity of your beliefs. Challenge the negative statements you tell yourself. Are they true? Are they absolute? What evidence supports them? What evidence contradicts them? Often what feels like a fixed truth is simply a story you have repeated so many times it feels real. By questioning your thoughts, you open the door to new possibilities. You start to replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. This does not mean ignoring reality or living in denial. It means choosing to focus on thoughts that serve your growth instead of your fear. Developing mental control also involves interrupting negative thought cycles. When you catch yourself spiraling into doubt, anxiety, or self-criticism, pause, take a deep breath, create distance between you and your thoughts. Remind yourself that you are not your thoughts. They are passing mental events, not commands. This practice creates space where you can choose your response rather than react automatically. Over time, this pause becomes a powerful habit that weakens the chains of automatic negativity. Replace harmful thoughts with constructive alternatives. If your mind tells you I am not good enough, counter with I am capable of growth and improvement. If it says I always fail, remind yourself every setback is a lesson leading to success. These statements are not empty affirmations, but conscious rewiring of your mental habits. Consistently redirecting your thoughts builds new neural pathways that support resilience and confidence. The brain is adaptable. What you focus on grows stronger. Feed your mind with empowering ideas and watch your mental chains dissolve. Mastering your thoughts also means setting clear mental boundaries. You control what ideas and influences you allow into your mind. Limit exposure to negative media, toxic conversations, and unproductive comparisons. Protect your mental space as fiercely as you protect your physical health. Fill your environment with books, conversations, and experiences that uplift and challenge you. Surround yourself with perspectives that broaden your thinking rather than narrow it. This external discipline supports your internal mastery. Practice mindfulness to deepen your awareness of thought patterns. Mindfulness trains you to observe your mind without judgment and without getting caught up in stories. It strengthens your ability to recognize when your thoughts are leading you astray. Mindful awareness builds emotional intelligence because you begin to notice how certain thoughts trigger feelings and behaviors. This insight helps you respond with intention rather than react out of habit. Over time, mindfulness becomes a mental reset button, helping you stay present and clear. Remember that mastering thoughts is a lifelong journey, not a one-time fix. You will face challenges and setbacks. Old mental chains may reappear, especially under stress. This is normal. Growth happens in cycles. The key is persistence. Every time you choose to observe, question, and redirect your thoughts, you weaken the chains a little more. Every moment of mental clarity builds momentum toward lasting freedom. Progress is measured in moments, not perfection. A practical way to strengthen thought mastery is journaling. Write down recurring negative thoughts and challenge them on paper. Explore their origins, evidence, and impact on your behavior. Then write alternative perspectives and action plans. This process externalizes your mental chains and gives you a clearer view of what to change. It also creates a record of your progress, showing how your thinking evolves over time. Another effective tool is visualization. Imagine yourself free from mental chains. See yourself acting with confidence, calm, and clarity. Feel the emotions of that freedom. Visualization prepares your mind to accept new realities. It strengthens your belief that change is possible. Pair visualization with action. Let the mental image guide your daily choices and habits. Mastery over your thoughts translates directly into better decisions and stronger action. When you break free from limiting beliefs, you take risks that align with your true potential. You become resilient in the face of failure because you understand it is temporary and instructive. You approach challenges with curiosity instead of fear. Your mind becomes a tool for problem solving rather than a source of stress. This mental strength transforms every area of life, from relationships to work to health. Take responsibility for your mental landscape. No one else controls your thought. No external circumstance can dictate your inner world without your consent. This realization is both liberating and empowering. It means your freedom begins with the way you manage your mind. You are not a victim of your history or environment. You are the architect of your thinking. Finally, commit to daily mental discipline. Like physical exercise, your mind needs regular training. Set aside time each day for reflection, meditation, or focused thought. Use this time to practice awareness, challenge assumptions, and cultivate positive mental habits. Over time, these small daily investments accumulate into a profound transformation. Your mental chains break and your true self emerges, strong, free, and clear. Master your thoughts to unlock the life you deserve. Break the chains forged by fear, doubt, and negative. Claim the power that comes from a mind trained to serve you, not sabotage you. This mastery is the foundation for all other growth. Without it, even the best plans falter. With it you can navigate any challenge, create any change, and live with purpose. The path to mental freedom is within your reach. Take the first step by choosing to master your thoughts today and break your mental chains forever. Chapter 12. Speak less and observe more to grow your awareness. Silence opens doors that words often close. Speaking less and observing more is a powerful practice that can deepen your awareness of yourself and the world around you. When you talk less, you create space for listening, not just to others, but also to your own thoughts and feelings. Observation without immediate reaction builds insight and wisdom. It teaches patience, humility, and clarity. Most people rush to fill silence with words, fearing emptiness or judgment. Yet, true strength comes from restraint and focus. The ability to hold back your voice and absorb information allows you to understand situations and people more deeply. This awareness transforms your interactions and decisions. Every conversation you engage in is an opportunity to learn, but only if you listen fully. When you speak less, you reduce misunderstandings caused by impulsive words or assumptions. You begin to notice subtle cues, body language, tone, and emotion that reveal more than spoken words ever could. Observing quietly sharpens your emotional intelligence. You become more attuned to others' feelings and needs, which builds stronger, more authentic connections. People respond positively to those who listen attentively rather than dominate conversations. This does not mean withholding your voice indefinitely, but choosing when and how to speak thoughtfully. Practicing silence in speech allows you to become more present. It stops your mind from jumping ahead to what you want to say next. Instead, you fully engage with the moment. Presence is a rare gift in a distracted world. It is the foundation of true communication. When you are present, you respond rather than react. You consider the impact of your words. You hold space for others to express themselves without interruption. This practice builds respect and trust, both essential for meaningful relationships. Observation extends beyond people to your environment and your inner self. By watching without judgment, you notice patterns that shape your behavior and mindset. You see triggers that lead to stress or conflict. You identify moments when you act from habit rather than choice. This self-awareness is crucial for growth. Without it, change is random and ineffective. When you speak less and observe more, you gather the information necessary to make wise decisions. You move through life with intention rather than reaction. The habit of speaking less and observing more also protects your energy. Words carry power, and careless speech can drain your mental and emotional reserves. Speaking only when necessary and meaningful conserves your strength. It prevents you from becoming entangled in unnecessary drama or conflict. Instead, you channel your energy toward actions and thoughts that serve your growth. This focused use of energy accelerates progress in all areas of life. To develop this practice, start by slowing down your speech. Pause before responding in conversations. Use that pause to fully hear what is said and reflect on your reply. Resist the urge to fill silence quickly. Embrace moments of quiet as opportunities to process and understand. This discipline rewires your communication habits. It creates space for clarity and intention. Over time, you will notice that your words carry more weight and impact because they are chosen with care. Cultivate curiosity in your observations. Approach people and situations with a beginner's mind, free from assumptions and judgments. Ask questions silently as you listen. What motivates this person? What emotions are beneath the surface? How does this environment affect my mood or behavior? This mindset turns every interaction into a learning experience. Curiosity deepens your understanding and reduces the need to react defensively or prematurely. Pay attention to your internal dialogue as well. Observing your thoughts without immediately verbalizing them allows you to discern which ones are productive and which are distractions. This inner observation strengthens mental clarity and emotional regulation. It prevents impulsive reactions that often complicate situations. Speaking less internally leads to more deliberate and composed external communication. Remember that silence is a form of communication itself. It can convey confidence, respect, and thoughtfulness. Learning to be comfortable with silence in conversations signals maturity. It encourages others to share more openly and fosters a balanced exchange. Silence is not emptiness, but a space rich with potential for understanding and connection. In social settings, practice listening more than speaking. Notice how this shift changes dynamics. You may find people opening up more or conversations becoming deeper. Resist the pressure to impress or dominate. Instead, focus on absorbing and processing information. This approach creates meaningful engagement rather than superficial chatter. The practice of speaking less and observing more also extends to your reactions online. In a world flooded with opinions and noise, choosing when and how to respond online preserves your peace. Observe the tone and content before reacting. Ask yourself if your response adds value or simply fuels conflict. This restraint enhances your digital presence and protects your mental space. As you develop this habit, your awareness will expand beyond immediate interaction. You will start noticing broader patterns in your life, society, and your own behavior. This bigger picture awareness empowers you to make strategic choices aligned with your values and goals. It reduces impulsive decisions and builds foresight. Speaking less and observing more is not about silence for silence's sake. It is about cultivating mindful communication and deep presence. It is about using your voice as a tool for impact rather than noise. It is about tuning in before tuning out. This practice transforms your relationships, your mindset, and your ability to navigate life with wisdom and grace. Commit to this practice daily. Start with small moments during meetings, conversations with friends, or even in your own thoughts. Notice how it changes your experience. Let the habit grow until it becomes second nature. The power of observation combined with thoughtful speech will become your greatest ally in personal growth and meaningful connection. In a world that often values volume over value, choosing to speak less and observe more is a radical act of self-mastery. It honors your inner wisdom and respects the voices of others. It builds clarity where confusion once lived. It creates peace where chaos often reigned. This is how you grow your awareness and step fully into your power. Chapter 13. Remove distractions that keep you from becoming better. Distractions are the silent thieves of progress. They consume your time, scatter your focus, and keep you trapped in cycles of unproductive busyness. To become better, you must first identify what pulls your attention away from growth and deliberately remove those distractions. This act of clearing space is essential for clarity and effectiveness. Distractions may not always be loud or obvious. Sometimes they hide in routine habits, mindless scrolling, or relationships that drain rather than inspire. Removing them is a form of respect for your potential and a commitment to your future. Start by examining your daily environment. What surrounds you physically? Cluttered spaces breed cluttered minds. If your workspace or living area is filled with unnecessary items, it creates mental noise that hinders focus. Simplify your environment to include only what supports your goals. A clean, organized space invites calm and concentration. This physical removal is a tangible first step toward clearing internal distractions. It signals to your brain that you are serious about change. Digital distractions are some of the most pervasive and subtle. Constant notifications, endless social media feeds, and unimportant emails fragment your attention throughout the day. These interruptions prevent deep work and thoughtful reflection. To reclaim your focus, establish boundaries with technology. Turn off non-essential notifications. Schedule specific times to check messages rather than allowing constant access. Consider using apps or settings that limit your exposure to distracting content. The goal is not to reject technology entirely, but to control how it influences your time and attention. Distractions also come from within. Your mind is often the loudest source of interruption. Worries about the future, regrets about the past, and random thoughts can derail your focus. Practicing mindfulness and meditation helps manage this internal noise. When you catch your mind wandering, gently bring your attention back to the present task. This mental discipline strengthens your ability to stay on course despite internal and external pull. Evaluate your relationships carefully. Some connections uplift and challenge you to grow. Others drain your energy and distract you from your priorities. Protecting your mental and emotional space means limiting contact with people who encourage procrastination, negativity, or complacency. Surround yourself with individuals who respect your goals and inspire progress. This intentional choice creates a supportive environment where distractions from toxic influences are minimized. Set clear priorities every day. Knowing exactly what you want to accomplish reduces the chance of getting sidetracked by unimportant tasks. Use lists or planners to organize your day around meaningful actions. When distractions arise, ask yourself if they align with your priorities. If not, remove or postpone them. This focus sharpens your energy and directs it where it matters most. Removing distractions also requires saying no, often to good things. Not everything that demands your attention deserves it. Invitations, opportunities, and even enjoyable activities can become distractions if they pull you away from your path. Learn to evaluate commitments based on their long-term impact. Saying no frees your time and energy for what truly matters. This practice strengthens boundaries and builds self-respect. Create routines that protect your focus. Start your day with habits that minimize distractions, such as planning your tasks and setting intentions. Use techniques like the Pomodoro method to work in focused bursts with short breaks. These structured approaches train your mind to sustain attention and resist interruption. Over time, routines become automatic shields against distraction. Recognize that removing distractions is not a one-time event, but a continuous process. As you grow and evolve, new distractions will emerge. Stay vigilant. Regularly assess your environment, habits, and relationships. Adjust your boundaries and strategies to maintain clarity and focus. This ongoing commitment is essential for sustained improvement. Distractions often masquerade as comfort or escape. When you resist them, you face discomfort, the challenge of focusing, of confronting difficult tasks, or of sitting with restless thoughts. This discomfort is a sign of growth. Lean into it rather than avoiding it. Each moment you choose focus over distraction, you strengthen your ability to control your attention and direct your life. Celebrate small victories in removing distractions. Notice how your productivity, mood, and sense of purpose improve. These positive changes reinforce your motivation to maintain focus. Use progress as fuel to keep refining your environment and habits. Remember that focus is a skill, not an innate trait. It can be developed with practice and intention. Removing distractions is the essential groundwork. Without clearing the noise, your efforts to grow remain scattered and shallow. With clarity and concentration, you access deeper levels of learning, creativity, and achievement. Ultimately, removing distractions honors the value of your time and potential. It is a declaration that you refuse to settle for a distracted, fragmented life. Instead, you claim the space necessary to become better, stronger, and more aligned with your true purpose. This commitment transforms your daily experience and shapes the trajectory of your entire life. Chapter 14. Develop discipline by doing hard things every day. Discipline is the foundation of all lasting success and personal growth. It is not a trait that some people are simply born with, but a skill that anyone can build by consistent effort. Developing discipline means choosing to do hard things every day, even when you don't feel like it. It is the ability to push through discomfort, resistance, and temptation to stay committed to your goals. This daily commitment to challenge yourself strengthens your character and expands your capacity to achieve. The more hard things you face and conquer, the more your discipline grows, creating a positive cycle of momentum and confidence. Doing hard things daily trains your mind to resist the pull of instant gratification. Modern life is filled with distractions designed to satisfy short-term desires quickly: comfort foods, social media, binge watching, and endless entertainment. These temptations weaken your self-control and keep you stuck in patterns of avoidance and procrastination. When you choose to do something difficult instead, whether it is waking up early, exercising, focusing on a challenging task, or having a difficult conversation, you actively build mental toughness. Each act of discipline is a victory against the habit of seeking ease and comfort at the expense of growth. The process of embracing difficulty requires clear intention. Without a defined purpose, it is easy to give up when the task becomes unpleasant. Start by identifying small, specific challenges you can face every day that align with your larger goals. These should be tasks that stretch you beyond your comfort zone, but are achievable with effort. By committing to these small daily challenges, you create a routine that gradually increases your tolerance for discomfort. This steady progress strengthens your willpower, making bigger challenges less intimidating over time. It is important to accept that discomfort is a natural and necessary part of growth. Pain, frustration, and uncertainty are signals that you are pushing your boundaries. Instead of avoiding these feelings, reframe them as evidence that you are on the right path. Hard things often reveal your limits, but they also reveal your potential to overcome them. The resistance you encounter is a sign that change is happening beneath the surface. Discipline is the muscle that allows you to persist through these moments until they become easier. Consistency is key in building discipline. Doing hard things once or twice is not enough to create lasting change. The power of discipline comes from repetition, showing up day after day, even when motivation fades. Motivation is unreliable because it depends on mood and external circumstances. Discipline relies on commitment and habit. When you develop discipline, your actions become automatic responses rather than struggles of will. This frees mental energy and creates a strong foundation for achieving your highest goal. Developing discipline also requires accountability. Find ways to hold yourself responsible for following through on hard tasks. This might be through journaling, sharing goals with a trusted friend, or setting deadlines. Accountability creates external pressure that supports your internal commitment. It also builds confidence as you see yourself meeting challenges consistently. Celebrate small wins along the way to reinforce your progress and keep your momentum. Remember that discipline is not about perfection. You will have days when you fall short or avoid the hard things. This is normal. What matters is how quickly you return to the practice. Use setbacks as learning opportunities rather than excuses to quit. Analyze what triggered the slip and adjust your approach. This resilience strengthens discipline by teaching you to persist despite obstacles. The benefits of developing discipline extend far beyond task completion. Discipline improves your self-esteem because you prove to yourself that you can trust your own word. It builds mental clarity because consistent effort reduces stress and indecision. It fosters resilience because you become accustomed to facing challenges without fear. Discipline creates freedom by allowing you to control your impulses rather than being controlled by them. This inner freedom is the foundation for true happiness and fulfillment. Approach discipline as a daily practice rather than a goal to be achieved. Each day presents new opportunities to do hard things that stretch your limits. By embracing this mindset, you transform discipline from a chore into a way of life. You shift from reacting to circumstances to proactively shaping your destiny. Every small act of discipline compounds over time, creating powerful ripple effects in every area of your life. Start developing discipline immediately by choosing one hard thing you will do today. It could be as simple as making your bed, skipping a sugary snack, or spending 10 minutes on focused reading. Commit to doing this task consistently, every day for a week. Notice how your confidence and willpower grow. Then add another challenge. Gradually increase the difficulty as your discipline strengthens. This step-by-step approach prevents overwhelm and builds sustainable habits. Finally, Recognize that developing discipline is an act of self-respect. By choosing hard things daily, you declare that your growth matters. You honor your potential and refuse to settle for mediocrity. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Crossing that bridge requires courage, commitment, and persistence. But every step you take builds the life you desire and deserve. Develop discipline by doing hard things every day and watch your world transform. Your ability to face difficulty becomes your greatest asset. You become a person who takes control of their life rather than being controlled by circumstances. This daily practice unlocks your potential, fuels your progress, and deepens your character. Discipline is the quiet power that shapes success, peace, and fulfillment. Embrace it fully and commit to the hard work ahead. Your future self will thank you. Chapter 15. Strengthen your body to support your new identity. Your body is the foundation that supports every aspect of your life and transformation. Strengthening it is essential to embody the new identity you are creating. Without a strong, healthy body, your mind and spirit cannot perform at their best. Physical strength builds confidence, resilience, and endurance to face life's challenges. This process is not about appearance, but about creating a vessel capable of carrying your ambitions and values forward. To transform yourself fully, you must nurture and develop your body as a vital partner in your growth. Start by understanding that the body responds to consistent care and challenge. It adapts to the demands you place on it. When you engage in regular movement, eat nourishing food, and sufficient rest, your body becomes more capable and energetic. This foundation increases your capacity for mental clarity, emotional balance, and productive action. Physical strength is closely tied to mental strength. When your body feels strong, your mind feels empowered to take on more. Exercise is the most direct way to strengthen your body. Choose activities that build muscular strength, endurance, flexibility, and cardiovascular health. These include weight training, body weight exercises, yoga, walking, running, or swimming. The specific type is less important than consistency and progression. Challenge yourself to improve gradually, pushing past comfort without risking injury. This steady growth mirrors the discipline you are building in other areas of life. Each session of physical effort reinforces your commitment to your new self. Nutrition plays a critical role in physical strength. The food you consume fuels your body and repairs it. Choose whole, nutrient-dense foods that provide vitamins, minerals, protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates. Avoid processed foods and excess sugar that drain energy and create inflammation. Hydrate adequately to support cellular function and recovery. Paying attention to nutrition is an act of respect for your body and your goals. It equips you to perform and recover better, reinforcing your transformation. Rest and recovery are as important as exercise and nutrition. Your body needs time to repair tissues, balance hormones, and restore energy. Quality sleep supports cognitive function, mood regulation, and immune health. Prioritize 7 to 9 hours of restful sleep each night. Develop a bedtime routine that prepares your body for rest by reducing screen time, limiting caffeine, and creating a calm environment. Recognize that rest is not laziness, but an essential component of strength. Movement throughout the day, beyond structured exercise, also matters. Sitting for long periods weakens muscles and reduces circulation. Incorporate regular breaks to stand, stretch, or walk. These small actions maintain energy and reduce stiffness. This daily habit supports physical vitality and mental focus. It reminds you that strengthening your body is an ongoing, integrated practice. Your mindset around your body impacts your results. Approach physical care with patience and kindness rather than criticism. Celebrate progress, no matter how small. Avoid comparing yourself to others or chasing unrealistic ideals. Instead, Focus on how your body feels, moves, and supports your life. This positive relationship fuels motivation and consistent effort. Strengthening your body supports your identity by creating alignment between your internal values and external actions. When you commit to physical health, you demonstrate self-respect, responsibility, and resilience. These qualities shape how you see yourself and how others perceive you. Your body becomes a visible symbol of your transformation. This alignment deepens your confidence and reinforces your new path. Challenges will arise in this process. Days when motivation is low or setbacks occur due to illness or fatigue are inevitable. Use these moments to practice discipline and compassion simultaneously. Adjust your plan if needed, but maintain commitment to the overall goal. Resilience grows when you persist through difficulties rather than giving up. This resilience in caring for your body spills over into other areas of your transformation. Engage your senses fully in your physical practices. Notice the feeling of strength in your muscles, the rhythm of your breath, and the sensations of movement. This embodied awareness connects you to the present moment and deepens your experience. It transforms exercise from a chore into a source of vitality and joy. This mindful approach enhances the benefits of physical strengthening. Consider the community aspect of physical health. Joining a group class, walking with a friend, or sharing goals with others can provide support and accountability. Social connection adds motivation and enjoyment. It reminds you that your transformation is not isolated, but part of a broader journey shared with others. This connection nourishes your spirit as well as your body. Reflect regularly on how physical strengthening impacts your daily life. Notice improvements in energy, mood, focus, and confidence. Recognize how your body's support enables you to tackle challenges with greater ease. This reflection reinforces the value of your efforts and encourages ongoing commitment. Strengthening your body is a fundamental step toward living fully as your new self. It creates the foundation for mental clarity, emotional balance, and purposeful action. This investment in your physical health is an expression of self-love and dedication to your future. Your body is not separate from your identity but an essential part of it. Nurture and challenge it daily to support the transformation you desire. Commit now to developing a physical practice that aligns with your goals and values. Honor your body with consistent movement, nourishing food, adequate rest, and mindful presence. Build resilience by embracing challenges and celebrating progress. Strengthen your body and watch your entire life shift toward greater power, peace, and purpose. This is how you fully embody your new identity and step confidently into your transformed. Chapter 16. Write down your mission and read it every morning. Writing down your mission is one of the most powerful tools to anchor your transformation. When you clarify your purpose on paper, it moves from a vague idea into a concrete reality. This act creates a tangible commitment that your mind and emotions can grasp and align with. Reading your mission every morning reinforces that commitment, setting the tone for your entire day. It acts as a compass, guiding your choices and actions toward what truly matters. Without a clear mission, it's easy to drift through life, distracted by the noise and demands around you. Writing it down cuts through confusion and focuses your energy on your true path. Start by crafting your mission statement with honesty and precision. Reflect deeply on what you want to stand for and accomplish. Consider the impact you want to have on yourself and others. Your mission should be specific enough to inspire daily action, yet broad enough to encompass growth and change. Use language that speaks directly to you, words that motivate and resonate. This personal connection is crucial for the mission to hold power over time. Avoid vague cliches or generic statements. Make it real and meaningful to your unique journey. Once your mission is written, place it somewhere visible and accessible. A simple piece of paper on your nightstand or a note on your phone can work. The key is to see and read it first thing each morning. This daily ritual imprints your purpose onto your subconscious, influencing your mindset before distractions arise. It reminds you of what you're committed to beyond immediate feelings or external pressures. This consistent reinforcement builds resilience and clarity. Reading your mission every morning is more than just a reminder. It is an act of intention. As you read, visualize yourself living out your mission throughout the day. Imagine the decisions you will make, the challenges you will face, and the person you will become. This mental rehearsal strengthens your resolve and prepares you for obstacles. It turns abstract goals into practical daily behaviors. This visualization connects your mind and emotions with your deeper purpose. The power of a written mission grows when you revisit and revise it regularly. As you evolve, your priorities and insights may shift. Periodically review your statement and adjust it to reflect your current understanding and aspirations. This ongoing refinement keeps your mission aligned with your authentic self. It also prevents the mission from becoming stale or disconnected. Growth requires flexibility as well as commitment. Incorporate your mission into your decision-making process. When faced with choices, large or small, ask yourself if the option supports your mission. This practice creates a filter that prevents distraction and procrastination. It encourages you to act deliberately and consistently. Decisions aligned with your mission produce momentum and satisfaction. Those that don't often lead to regret or wasted energy. Your mission becomes a powerful yardstick to measure progress and integrity. Writing your mission also helps you define boundaries. It clarifies what you will accept and what you will refuse in your life. Boundaries protect your time, energy, and focus. When your mission is clear, saying no to distractions or toxic influences becomes easier. You make space for what truly matters instead of reacting to every demand or expectation. Boundaries are a vital part of transformation because they safeguard your growth. Sharing your mission with trusted individuals can enhance accountability and support. When others know your purpose, they can encourage you, remind you of your goals, and hold you responsible. This external reinforcement complements your internal commitment. Choose people who respect and inspire your journey. Their presence strengthens your motivation and perseverance. Recognize that writing and reading your mission is a practice, not a one-time event. Its power grows with repetition and intention. Make it a non-negotiable part of your morning routine. Even on difficult days, this simple act reconnects you to your why and reignites your drive. It builds mental and emotional discipline. Over time, your mission becomes a living part of your identity rather than just words on a page. The clarity and focus gained from a written mission ripple into every area of your life. It sharpens your career goals, relationships, health habits, and personal development. It helps you avoid distractions and align your efforts with your highest values. This alignment produces a deep sense of fulfillment and purpose. Living with a clear mission transforms ordinary days into meaningful progress. Writing down your mission is also a powerful tool against doubt and fear. When challenges arise or confidence wavers, your mission reminds you of your commitment and potential. It serves as a steady anchor in turbulent times. This stability enables you to persevere when others might give up. It transforms obstacles into opportunities to demonstrate your strength and dedication. Take time now to write your mission clearly and honestly. Include what you stand for, what you want to achieve, and how you want to live. Use language that energizes and inspires you. Keep it visible and read it every morning with intention. Let it guide your thoughts, choices, and actions throughout the day. Make it a daily practice that connects you to your deepest purpose and highest potential. By writing down your mission and reading it each morning, you create a powerful foundation for transformation. This simple act aligns your mind, heart, and actions toward your true path. It builds resilience, focus, and clarity. It turns dreams into plans and plans into reality. Your mission becomes a daily source of motivation and direction. Embrace this practice fully and watch your life change in meaningful and lasting ways. Chapter 17. Move to a place where no one knows your past. Starting fresh in a new place where no one knows your past offers a unique chance to reshape your life without the weight of previous judgments or expectations. This move is not about running away, but about creating the freedom to build your identity on your terms. The environment around you has a powerful influence on how you see yourself and how others treat you. When your past follows you, it colors every interaction and limits your potential. Relocating to a place where you are unknown gives you space to grow without the shadows of old mistakes or reputations. In a new setting, you gain the opportunity to introduce yourself as the person you want to become, rather than who you once were. Without preconceived notions, people interact with you based on who you show up as now. This fresh start removes invisible barriers and opens doors to new relationships and possibilities. It invites curiosity and openness rather than suspicion or skepticism. This environment nurtures your transformation by allowing you to act freely and authentically. Leaving behind familiar places and faces can be daunting but necessary. Familiarity often ties us to past patterns, habits, and identities that no longer serve us. Even well-meaning people from our past can unknowingly reinforce outdated versions of ourselves. A new location interrupts these cycles and forces new habits and perspectives. Change in your surroundings sparks change within. It challenges you to adapt and reinvent in alignment with your evolving self. This move is also a strategic decision to protect your mental and emotional well-being. Being constantly reminded of past failures or judgments can erode confidence and create self-doubt. In a new place, those reminders fade. You have the freedom to create a narrative focused on growth and future success rather than past setbacks. This mental space is vital for healing and renewal. It allows you to nurture positive beliefs and resilience. Relocating requires intentional planning and commitment. It involves choosing a place that aligns with your goals and values. Consider the lifestyle, opportunities, and community that support your new identity. A location that encourages growth, health, and connection provides fertile ground for transformation. This conscious selection reflects your dedication to the change you want to embody. Moving also means embracing the unknown. You will face uncertainties and challenges as you adjust to new routines, environments, and social circles. This discomfort is part of the process. It stretches your adaptability and courage. By navigating these challenges, you build resilience and confidence. Each step taken in unfamiliar territory is a step toward mastery over your life. Building new relationships in a new place is essential. Seek out people who inspire and support your growth. Surround yourself with individuals who see your potential and encourage your goals. This fresh network becomes your foundation for belonging and accountability. These new connections help replace old influences that might have held you back. They provide encouragement, perspective, and motivation. Establish new habits and routines that reflect your transformed identity. The physical move is an opportunity to redesign your daily life. Create schedules, rituals, and environments that reinforce your values and aspirations. This intentional lifestyle supports your mental and emotional shifts. Consistency in new habits strengthens your new self-image and embeds change deeply. A new place allows for experimentation without fear of failure. You can try new activities, careers, or social roles without the pressure of past expectations. This freedom encourages creativity and exploration. It helps you discover hidden talents and interests. The lessons learned in this exploratory phase contribute to a richer and more authentic identity. While moving physically changes your environment, it also symbolizes an internal shift. It represents a break from old stories and limitations. This symbolic act empowers you to release guilt, shame, or regret tied to your past. It declares your readiness to live intentionally and courageously. This mindset shift is a crucial part of transformation. Financial and logistical challenges may arise with moving but should not deter you. Planning and prioritizing your move as an investment in your future makes the effort worthwhile. Consider the long-term benefits of a fresh start over short-term discomfort. This perspective strengthens your resolve and commitment to change. Embrace the solitude and reflection that come with moving to an unknown place. This space allows you to reconnect with your core values and vision. Without distractions from past relationships or environments, you gain clarity on what matters most. This self-awareness guides your decisions and actions moving forward. Recognize that transformation requires time and patience. A new place does not instantly change who you are, but provides the conditions for growth. Commit to consistent effort and self-compassion during this period. Celebrate small milestones as evidence of progress. This patience builds endurance and deepens your transformation. Moving also requires letting go of attachments to your previous identity and social circle. This emotional release is difficult but essential. It clears space for new experiences and relationships. Grieving past chapters allows you to embrace the present fully. This acceptance frees your energy for growth rather than holding on to old pain. Technology and social media can complicate a fresh start by keeping you tied to your past. Consider limiting exposure to these platforms to prevent old patterns from resurfacing. Use this digital detox to focus on your immediate environment and new community. This practice strengthens your presence and engagement in your new life. Remember that moving to a place where no one knows your past is not an escape, but a strategic step in your transformation. It is a deliberate choice to prioritize your growth, freedom, and well-being. This decision requires courage, planning, and resilience. The rewards include renewed confidence, clarity, and a life shaped by your intentions rather than your history. Commit fully to this new chapter by embracing the unknown, building supportive relationships, and creating habits aligned with your goal. Use the anonymity of your new environment as a canvas for authentic self-expression. This fresh start can become the foundation for lasting transformation and fulfillment. By moving to a place where no one knows your past, you claim the power to rewrite your story. You free yourself from the constraints of history and step into a future defined by your choices. This act is a profound declaration of self-respect and hope. It opens doors to growth, healing, and new opportunities. Embrace this freedom and use it to build the life you truly desire. Chapter 18. Let go of needing approval from anyone but yourself. The need for approval from others can silently control your thoughts, decisions, and even your happiness. It creates invisible chains that limit your freedom and hold you back from becoming who you truly want to be. Releasing this need is essential to living authentically and embracing your full potential. When you depend solely on your own approval, you become your own source of confidence and validation. This shift fosters independence, inner peace, and resilience. It transforms how you relate to yourself and the world, allowing you to act with integrity and clarity. Relying on others' approval often leads to compromising your values and desires to fit in or avoid criticism. This habit creates a life shaped by external expectations rather than internal truth. It traps you in cycles of anxiety and self-doubt because other people's opinions are unpredictable and beyond your control. Recognizing that you cannot satisfy everyone frees you to prioritize your own voice. This realization is the first step towards self-empowerment. Cultivating self-approval starts with developing honest self-awareness. Reflect on what you genuinely believe, value, and want. Separate your authentic desires from the messages and judgments imposed by others. This process requires courage to face your true self without disguise or defense. Self-awareness builds a solid foundation for self-acceptance because you understand who you are beneath external influences. Practice affirming your worth and decisions internally. Use positive self-talk to counteract doubt and criticism. When you accomplish something or make a decision, acknowledge it to yourself without waiting for external praise. This internal validation strengthens your confidence and reduces dependence on others. It helps you trust your judgment and instincts, essential qualities for personal growth and leadership. Learning to accept imperfection is crucial in this journey. The desire for approval often stems from fear of rejection or failure. Accept that mistakes and flaws are part of being human. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you'd offer a friend. This self-compassion softens the harsh inner critic and nurtures a healthier relationship with yourself. It allows you to grow without fear of judgment. Set clear personal boundaries that protect your self-approval. Say no to requests or behaviors that conflict with your values or drain your energy. Boundaries reinforce your self-respect and communicate that your approval matters most. They prevent you from being manipulated or overwhelmed by others' expectations. This practice requires firmness and consistency, but greatly enhances your sense of control and dignity. Surround yourself with people who respect your autonomy and encourage your self-approval. Supportive relationships validate your worth without demanding conformity. They provide honest feedback while honoring your individuality. Positive connections boost your confidence and reduce the need to seek approval outside yourself. Avoid those who consistently undermine your self-worth or pressure you to change for their acceptance. Embrace discomfort as you detach from approval seeking. You may face loneliness, criticism, or rejection initially. These experiences test your commitment to self-approval, but also strengthen your resilience. When you remain true to yourself despite external pressures, your inner power grows. Over time, the discomfort lessens, replaced by a deep sense of freedom and authenticity. Develop daily practices that reinforce your independence from external approval. Journaling your thoughts and feelings creates clarity and connection with your inner voice. Meditation or mindfulness helps you observe approval-seeking impulses without acting on them. Setting daily intentions aligned with your values centers your focus on internal standards. These habits cultivate a steady and grounded mindset. Recognize that your value is inherent and does not depend on others' opinions. This belief is the cornerstone of lasting self-approval. Internalize the truth that you deserve respect, love, and success simply because you exist. When you live by this principle, external approval becomes a bonus rather than a necessity. This mindset shift transforms your relationships and ambitions. Celebrate moments when you choose self-approval over seeking validation. Acknowledge the courage it takes to trust yourself and honor your path. These victories build momentum and reinforce your new way of living. They remind you that your approval is sufficient and powerful. This positive reinforcement encourages continued growth and self-trust. Understand that letting go of approval seeking is a process, not a one-time event. It requires patience, persistence, and self-forgiveness. You may revert to old habits occasionally. Use these moments as learning opportunities rather than failures. Each effort to choose yourself strengthens your independence and reshapes your identity. Use your self-approval to set meaningful goals and take bold actions. When your motivation comes from within, your efforts are more authentic and sustainable. You become less swayed by fear of judgment or rejection. This confidence enables you to pursue growth and fulfillment on your own terms. Practice honesty with yourself and others. Authenticity is a natural consequence of self-approval. When you no longer seek to please or hide parts of yourself, your interactions become more genuine and meaningful. This openness attracts respect and deeper connections. Living authentically enhances your well-being and sense of purpose. Remember that your approval carries more weight than anyone else's. It shapes your reality and how you navigate challenges. Choosing yourself empowers you to make decisions aligned with your highest good. This internal authority becomes a source of strength and clarity in uncertain times. Commit to prioritizing your own approval today. Begin by identifying areas where you seek external validation unnecessarily. Challenge those impulses by reminding yourself of your inherent worth. Practice affirming your decisions and achievements internally. Build this habit consistently to create a solid foundation of self-trust. Letting go of the need for approval from anyone but yourself is a transformative act of freedom. It breaks the chains of dependence and fear. This liberation opens the door to living fully confidently and authentically. Embrace your power as your own source of validation and watch your life change in profound ways. Your true self is worthy, capable, and complete without needing permission from others. Claim that truth and live it every day. Chapter 19. Surround yourself only with people who are growing. Surrounding yourself with people who are committed to growth is one of the most impactful choices you can make on your journey of transformation. The company you keep influences your mindset, habits, and energy more than most realize. When you spend time with individuals who are actively improving themselves, you naturally absorb their motivation, discipline, and positive outlook. This environment encourages you to raise your standards and expand your potential. Conversely, being around stagnant or negative people can drain your energy and slow your progress. Choosing to align with growth-minded individuals creates a fertile ground for your own development and success. People who prioritize growth often embody qualities like curiosity, resilience, and accountability. They are open to learning from experiences, including failures, and they seek to overcome challenges rather than avoid them. Being around such individuals inspires you to adopt a similar mindset. Their focus on progress creates a culture of action and persistence. This atmosphere helps you stay committed to your goals even when obstacles arise. Their stories of effort and breakthrough serve as reminders that transformation is possible with consistent work. Positive influence goes beyond motivation. It shapes your behaviors and beliefs at a subconscious level. Growth-oriented people model habits that support success, such as regular self-reflection, disciplined routines, and constructive problem-solving. Observing these habits makes them feel more attainable and normal to you. This social modeling is a powerful catalyst for change because it rewires your understanding of what is possible. When you believe that improvement is the norm, you feel more empowered to push your limits and try new things. Choosing to surround yourself with growth-minded people requires discernment and courage. It means evaluating your current relationships honestly and recognizing which connections uplift you and which hold you back. Some relationships may be comfortable but complacent, and they can subtly reinforce old patterns. Letting go or limiting time with these individuals creates space for new influences that support your transformation. This process may be challenging, but is essential for creating a supportive ecosystem around you. Nurturing relationships with people who are growing also involves mutual investment. Seek out communities or groups where growth is valued, such as workshops, clubs, or professional networks. Engage actively by sharing your goals, challenges, and progress. This openness builds trust and accountability, which fuel motivation. Giving support and encouragement in return strengthens bonds and creates a positive feedback loop. These connections become not just social, but strategic assets in your growth journey. When you immerse yourself in growth-focused circles, you expose yourself to diverse perspectives and ideas. This diversity challenges your thinking and encourages creative problem-solving. It broadens your understanding of what success looks like and how to achieve it. Exposure to different approaches enriches your toolkit and flexibility. It keeps your mind sharp and adaptable, key qualities for sustained transformation. Growth-oriented people also tend to value authenticity and vulnerability. They accept imperfection as part of progress and create safe spaces for honest expression. This environment reduces fear of judgment and encourages experimentation. You feel more comfortable taking risks and learning from setbacks. The emotional safety provided by these relationships supports mental and emotional resilience, vital components of personal development. The energy of growth-minded individuals is contagious. Their enthusiasm and optimism uplift your spirit, making effort feel less burdensome. They celebrate achievements sincerely and encourage persistence during setbacks. This positive reinforcement counters discouragement and keeps your momentum alive. Feeling supported and inspired by others accelerates your progress and deepens your commitment. Surrounding yourself with people who are growing helps you clarify your own goals and values. Conversations with like-minded individuals prompt reflection and self-assessment. Feedback from trusted sources provides insight and guidance. This ongoing dialogue sharpens your vision and aligns your actions with your purpose. It prevents stagnation and complacency by continually pushing you toward higher standards. Beware of relationships that drain your energy through negativity, gossip, or lack of ambition. These interactions can subtly erode your confidence and distract you from your goals. Limit exposure to such influences by setting boundaries or gradually distancing yourself. Prioritize connections that fuel your passion and support your growth. This selective approach protects your time and mental resources for what truly matters. Building a network of growth-minded people also expands your opportunities. These individuals often share resources, advice, and connections that help you advance. Collaborative efforts emerge naturally in such environments, creating synergy and innovation. Access to this collective wisdom and support system makes challenges more manageable and achievements more rewarding. Regularly evaluate your social environment and its impact on your development. Ask yourself if your current relationships inspire, challenge, and encourage you. Adjust your circle proactively to maintain alignment with your growth goals. This ongoing vigilance ensures that your social context remains a source of strength rather than limitation. Invest time and energy into cultivating these relationships. Genuine connections require effort through communication, empathy, and shared experiences. Be intentional about spending time with those who reflect the qualities you aspire to embody. These investments pay dividends in motivation, learning, and emotional well-being. Remember that growth is a lifelong journey, and your social circle will evolve with you. As you advance, seek out mentors, peers, and protégés who match your current stage and aspirations. This dynamic network supports continuous learning and renewal. It prevents isolation and stagnation by keeping you engaged in a community of progress. Your choice to surround yourself only with people who are growing is a powerful statement of commitment to your transformation. It creates a supportive, inspiring, and challenging environment that nurtures your best self. This deliberate social strategy enhances your motivation, resilience, and clarity. It amplifies your potential and makes your journey more fulfilling. By aligning with growth-focused individuals, you surround yourself with the energy and wisdom needed to sustain transformation. This community becomes a mirror reflecting your possibilities and a sounding board for your challenges. It provides encouragement when you falter and celebration when you succeed. This social ecosystem is a vital pillar supporting your evolving identity and goals. Commit to cultivating and maintaining relationships that inspire progress. Invest in connections that expand your horizons and deepen your commitment to growth. Let go of influences that hinder your potential. This conscious curation of your social environment accelerates your journey toward becoming the person you envision. Surrounding yourself only with people who are growing is a strategic, empowering choice. It shapes your mindset, habits, and opportunities. It creates a positive momentum that propels you forward. This environment nurtures resilience, creativity, and authenticity. It supports you in living a purposeful and evolving life aligned with your highest aspirations. Embrace this practice fully and watch how your transformation unfolds with greater ease and joy. Chapter 20. Rebuild your life one quiet, powerful step at a time. Rebuilding your life does not happen in grand, sweeping moments, but through quiet, consistent actions that accumulate over time. The power of small steps lies in their ability to create lasting change without overwhelming your spirit. Each deliberate choice, each calm effort, gradually reshapes your reality into something stronger and more aligned with who you want to become. This process honors patience and persistence over speed or spectacle, understanding that true transformation is built from steady progress rather than sudden leaps. Starting over can feel daunting because it implies leaving behind what is familiar, even if that familiarity was harmful or limiting. The mind resists change because it seeks comfort and predictability. Recognizing this resistance as natural rather than a sign of failure helps you approach rebuilding with kindness toward yourself. Small steps help reduce the overwhelm by breaking change into manageable pieces. This approach encourages momentum through achievable daily wins instead of paralyzing expectations. Every quiet step you take reinforces your commitment to a new path. It might be as simple as waking up with intention, making healthier food choices, or dedicating a few minutes to reflection. These acts may seem insignificant alone, but collectively build resilience and self-trust. Consistency in these small habits reshapes your brain's patterns and rewires your behavior toward growth. The cumulative effect creates a foundation that can support larger transformations. Rebuilding quietly means focusing on what truly matters without distractions or pressure to prove yourself to others. It invites you to listen deeply to your inner voice and prioritize your authentic needs. This inward focus prevents burnout and discouragement that come from chasing external validation or rushing progress. It fosters a sense of peace that underpins sustained effort and strengthens your resolve. As you rebuild, cultivate patience by acknowledging that setbacks and slow progress are part of the journey. Growth rarely follows a straight line. It includes moments of doubt, frustration, and recalibration. Embrace these challenges as learning experiences that deepen your understanding and sharpen your skills. Patience allows you to stay committed without harsh self-judgment or giving up prematurely. It creates space for gradual mastery and integration of new habits and mindsets. Intentional reflection is a powerful companion to quiet rebuilding. Regularly pause to assess what is working and what needs adjustment. This self-awareness enables you to refine your approach and remain aligned with your goals. Journaling, meditation, or simple moments of solitude can provide clarity and reinforce your sense of direction. Reflection also nurtures gratitude for progress made, which fuels motivation and satisfaction. Building a support system that respects your pace and process enhances your efforts. Surround yourself with people who encourage your steady growth and celebrate your small victories. Their understanding and patience create a safe environment where you can be vulnerable and authentic. This community offers accountability and inspiration without pressure or judgment, reinforcing your commitment to rebuilding. Rebuilding your life step by step invites you to let go of perfectionism and embrace progress as imperfect and non-linear. Each step forward is valuable, even if it feels incomplete or slow. This mindset shifts your focus from results alone to the quality and intention behind your actions. It transforms rebuilding into a meaningful practice rather than a race or competition. Physical environments influence your rebuilding as well. Create spaces that support your new habits and mindset. Declutter areas that trigger old patterns and arrange your surroundings to inspire calm, focus, and growth. This external order reflects and reinforces your internal changes, making your environment an ally in your transformation. Celebrate the power of routine in rebuilding. Small daily rituals anchor your efforts and create stability. Whether it is a morning stretch, mindful breathing, or setting daily priorities, these consistent practices build momentum and structure. They remind your mind and body that you are committed to change and provide a framework to sustain it through challenges. Rebuilding quietly does not mean going it alone. It means moving forward with humility and openness to support while maintaining your own pace and integrity. Seek guidance and learning from mentors, books, or workshops that resonate with your goals. Incorporate new knowledge thoughtfully and apply it gradually, ensuring it fits your unique context and rhythm. Financial, emotional, and physical resources impact your rebuilding process. Be realistic about what you can manage and prioritize sustainable steps over quick fixes. Small, consistent investments in your well-being and growth yield far greater returns than sporadic bursts of effort. Manage your energy wisely, recognizing that rest and recovery are integral parts of rebuilding. Celebrate each step as an act of courage and self-respect. Quiet progress may go unnoticed by others, but it transforms your life profoundly. Acknowledge your persistence and the strength it takes to keep going despite uncertainty or difficulty. These recognitions fuel your motivation and deepen your connection to your evolving self. Rebuilding your life is an act of reclaiming power and creating freedom. Each quiet step moves you away from limitation and toward possibility. It redefines your relationship with yourself and the world. Through this patient and deliberate process, you craft a life rooted in your values, strength, and aspiration. Trust that over time these steps will lead to transformation that lasts. This quiet power in persistence is your greatest ally in building the life you truly want.